Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen, and I am on a journey of transformation, discovery, and self-love. And I would love for you to join me on that journey. So come on. Hey there, friends. Thank you so much for watching and joining us today on the journey. I'm so glad to have you with us. As I said, my name is Jen, and if this is your first time, I have been on a journey for about 20 weeks now of weight loss, self-discovery, transformation, and self-love. And I just thought I would come on here a little bit and talk about why I chose to use the ketogenic diet in my transformation. What led me to it, why I think it's amazing, and why I would encourage you to try ketogenic eating if you haven't already. So, first things first, if you know anything about the ketogenic diet, it was developed in the 1920s by doctors to help patients with epilepsy. They found when they were able to stabilize insulin levels that epilepsy patients would have less seizures. And I had never heard about this. You know, I've done Weight Watchers, I had weight loss surgery, gastric banding, I have done calories in versus calories out, my Fitness Pal, my Fitbit app. That's pretty much everything that I had done in my dieting history until I heard about keto about 3 years ago, about 2017. And it was my husband who shared it with me. He had discovered it, I think from YouTube. I don't know. But, and so he did it and he lost like 100 pounds. He did great. And then I did it for maybe a couple months and lost like 40 pounds, 30 pounds, and gained it all back. You guys know my story. You can check out my videos down below to find out my how I got so fat story. So I've heard about it a couple times, and the first time that I did keto, it was amazing, the difference in how I felt on eating this way of life versus other way of lives. And you know, everybody has to do what they feel is best for them. Everybody's on their own journey and everybody has to make decisions for themselves. I am just sharing with you the reasons that I have chosen to live a ketogenic lifestyle. This is not temporary. This is a way of life that I will be for the rest of my life. Now, right now I'm limiting my carbs to 20 carbs a day. And my goal is that when I've reached my goal, my weight loss goal, is that I will up my carbs, or maybe even try something called carb cycling, which are all ketogenic methods, which is a whole nother video and a whole nother story. But right now I am strictish keto. I do a little dirty keto. And the basic concept behind a ketogenic diet is, you can Google this anywhere on the internet, on the interwebs. Check out Thomas DeLauer, he's great. Keto Rewind is another great one on YouTube. Two great keto resources. The basic principle behind a ketogenic diet is that your body uses glucose to run. It runs on glucose. It's one of the energy sources that your body uses. When you're not using all your glucose that you ingest through food, your body turns to fat. And glucose is basically sugar. Fructose, glucose, all those coses are sugar, right? And so the ketogenic diet deprives your body of glucose. And glucose is mainly found in carbohydrates. So when you eat ketogenically, you have a low carb, high fat, moderate protein diet. So for me, this is what it looks like. I'm looking for about 5% of my calories to be from carbohydrates, or 20 grams of carbs a day. And I'm using the Carb Manager app. It's free. It's on the interwebs. You can get it. It's fantastic. You can set your own goals. 70% of my calories is aiming to come from fat. So that's about 124 grams of fat a day. And about 25% of my calories come from protein. So these are just this is my particular makeup of goals. macronutrient goals every day. So you can adjust them. You know, there's something called Mediterranean keto, which is a higher protein, lower fat version, a little higher carb. So it's the Mediterranean keto is moderate fat, high protein, low carb. It's kind of switches the fat and the protein, the Mediterranean diet. It allows more carbs too. I'm not sure. You have to Google that one. Anyway, so that's my profile. So that's the basics. Please do your research. Let me just add this right now while I can. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. I have no credentials that allow me to tell anybody what to do with their body or their health or their nutrition. I am just telling you what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that maybe you should look into it for yourself and consult your doctor, which I have consulted my doctor, and she's on board with me. Her only advice to me is don't eat so much bacon, which is kind of what, there's a lot of misconceptions about what ketogenic eating looks like. Is it just all bacon, steaks, and eggs? No, it's not. Here are the 5 reasons I have chosen to eat ketogenically over other ways of eating, right? So the number 1 reason is that because I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I am insulin resistant. In a nutshell, that means my body does not process insulin correctly, and it is very damaging to me for my pancreas to release insulin into my body because it doesn't know what to do with it. It wreaks havoc on my whole system, most specifically my reproductive system, and it's just a mess in there. My liver is fatty and damaged, and it's just a whole mess and nastiness all up in there with insulin resistance. So what the ketogenic does is by eliminating sugar from my diet, and you could do this with Whole30 and Paleo too, it helps to level out those insulin levels. So my body doesn't just flush insulin, overproduce insulin, and then my body doesn't know what to do with it. It doesn't know how to use it correctly. So being insulin resistant, that's the word, having PCOS and being insulin resistant, I have to be very mindful of the carbohydrates that I introduce into my body. So in reality, there really is no going back to a white bread, white pasta, refined sugar kind of life. That's just not optimal for me if I want to fix or cure my insulin resistance. And that's kind of depressing. Oh, well, I don't know. I don't want to say it's depressing. I just think it's just the reality. It's the reality that I face. It's like somebody who has a gluten intolerance, recognizing they just can't have gluten and they have to find their new best life, which is gluten-free. And it can be done. And, or dairy, same thing with dairy. If people have I have insulin resistance and I just have to watch it. So, one of the first things that I learned about insulin resistance was what they call carb linking, protein linking, that you always need to link carbs and proteins. You shouldn't just have carbs. You should always link it with proteins that help your body process it better. So the ketogenic diet does that quite obviously, because all your carbs are connected to a protein. Anyway, I digress. So the second reason that I love the ketogenic diet, or that I choose the ketogenic diet for myself, is because I love the flavor of food. There is nothing worse than bland food in my book. I just can't eat a bowl of chicken breast and some boiled broccoli. I just would not eat. I would starve. So I have found that ketogenic eating is very flavorful, and I love fat. If you are the person who cuts the fat off your meat, my husband is the one. And that's okay, because we're married, so I get his fat. I love the fat on meat. And maybe I just grossed you out. I apologize. But I love it. Let me know. Do you like the fat on meat? Are you the chicken skin? I have been known to buy a whole rotisserie chicken and eat all the skin and give the rest to my family. I love animal fat. There is just something about it that is so satiating to me and so flavorful, and it's gonna be my downfall. But I do love that so fat adds flavor, and I love the flavor. I love cooking. I love to cook with protein, and I love steak, and so it's just been really adventurous for me to find new ways of using science and chemistry to cook in the kitchen. So it's been great. All right, so that's the second thing. The third reason I have chosen the ketogenic diet and love it is because this is the first time in my life, except for when I had weight loss surgery and my stomach was traumatized for 6 months, but this is the first time in my life where I can eat a certain way and not be hungry. I don't know about you, but in my life, whenever I would try, whether it was Weight Watchers or some other type of food, diet, some other type of way of eating, I would be ravenous. I would be so hungry, and it would be that hunger that would be my downfall in the end, where I just couldn't do it anymore, and I would eat too much, or I would return to binge eating, or try to. It would just crash and burn. The hunger would destroy me, and I would just be miserable because I would spend my days hungry, just with that. Because what was happening, which I know now, what was happening, was that my sugar monster, my carbo furnace, was burning, and I wasn't giving it enough carbs, and it was telling me more, and I was eating this typical standard American diet, which is which takes fat out of food and puts in sugar. So, and it just isn't enough, but it's not enough to give you that sense of fulfillment. So I would always be hungry because I didn't have enough fat in my diet, and was eating hidden sugar in a lot of diet industry foods. And there's lots of YouTube videos, lots of Netflix videos on the whole diet industry. But anything that's low fat has sugar in it. And so you're telling your body to eat more. So anyway, so this is the first time in my life where I have been on a diet and not been hungry. And anytime I feel hungry, I just throw some fat at it. That's my little saying with my friends. It's just, you feeling hungry, throw some fat at it. Just eat something with fat in it and you'll be fine. Eat a hamburger, eat a fatty piece of meat, eat some, have a cup of coffee with heavy whipping cream, have a fat bomb, have something with fat in it, throw some fat at it, and you'll be fine. And that's the truth. When you start the ketogenic diet, you have what's called the week of the keto flu, where your body's adjusting. And so what your body eventually does is it just says, okay, we don't have any glucose to burn, so we're going to have to burn our fat. So it starts to burn the fat in your body, and it converts something called ketones. And your body starts to run on ketones. And so you become this fat burning furnace, and you're living on the ketones of your fat burning fuel. You're burning fat as fuel, and you're living the best life. Anyway, so don't feel hungry. Very rarely feel hungry. And then if I do feel hungry, I just eat something. Throw some fat at it. All right. The fourth reason why I have chosen the ketogenic diet is because I have had weight loss surgery. In 2010, I had gastric banding, which is the little band they put on my tummy. It's still in there. It still has like 6 cc's of fluid in it. If you know, you know. So I still have some restriction when it comes to eating. I cannot sit down and eat a full portion. I can't, but I can, which is kind of the problem. So I shouldn't be able to eat, let's say, a whole plate of pasta. But because I went back to Egypt after weight loss surgery, I went back to eating the way that I used to eat and didn't follow all the rules of weight loss surgery. I know how to eat around my band. That being said, there are also times where I absolutely feel the restriction still. I still feel that I can only eat like maybe a cup and a half of food at a time. Liquid isn't, it goes right through. Liquid's not a problem, it goes right through. But let's say I could only eat so much ounces of meat and so many vegetables at a time. I still have problems with raw broccoli. Broccoli still tries to kill me every time I eat it, unless it's really cooked to be like mush. So because I've had weight loss surgery and the amount of food that I can eat is greatly reduced, eating high quality, high fat food is very helpful for me. I don't have to eat a lot, and I can feel full and I can feel satiated. I can have one keto taco for dinner, and that's it. And that's enough for me. I feel food, so I'm able to reduce my calories by eating less amounts of ketogenic food, but I'm able to go back to that previous number. It still satiates me. And that's why you don't feel hunger on the ketogenic diet, because fat satiates you. When you have fat in your body, it sends a message, fat and protein, it sends a message to your brain. We're good. We're going to make it through the starvation because we have fat and we have protein. You just burn sugar, and your body's message when you're burning sugar is, we need more sugar, we need more sugar, we need more sugar. Because it's a quickly used resource. It's not as long lasting, as satiating as fat and protein. I'm not a doctor. This is just the things I've learned over my life. I might be wrong. I know there's some keto police out there that's going to tell me something that I said is wrong. It's mostly right. Okay. All right. And the final reason I have chosen the ketogenic diet over any other diet is because I feel good. I feel amazing. I have so much energy. I feel good. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel anything. I don't feel bad in my physical body, my physicality. I feel like I have energy. I just feel like a superhero. When those ketones get going, those ketones are amazing, amazing. And so I'm constantly busy. I very rarely sit still, but still feel great. So I'm hoping I can divert those ketones into exercising, which I am going to go for a walk right now as soon as I'm done with this video, and then come home and make dinner. Anyway, so those are the top 5 reasons. Let's review them real quick again. So because I have PCOS and am insulin resistant, keto works amazing for me. Because I love flavor and I love to cook and love to try new recipes, and I love some steak. I love a protein. Because this is the first time I have not felt hunger when I have changed my eating from the standard American diet to a different way. Because I have weight loss surgery and can't eat large amounts of food, I want to have dense, nutrient-dense, and filling meals. And so this is great for that. And also because the ketones make you feel amazing. So let me know, are you eating keto? Are you on a ketogenic path? Have you thought about keto? What's holding you back? I know some people have said they tried it and it just didn't work for them, but that's okay. It doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's body is made up differently, but you just got to keep trying and find out what works for you, what works for your body. So, all right, folks, so that's why I chose the ketogenic lifestyle. Thank you for joining me in today's video on this journey to a new me in 2021. I'm so thankful to have you with me. Please remember to subscribe, ring the bell, give me a big thumbs up, and go ahead and share this video with friends or family that may be thinking about keto or struggling to make a decision to move into a new way of eating. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Until we see each other again on my next video, I want you to remember to love one another, but most importantly, to love yourself, because you are amazing. Bye-bye.